Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton neck and neck, obviously, and their campaigns are really beginning to lay into each other. A senior policy advisor for Barack Obama, who's been a guest on this program, in the hot seat for calling Hillary Clinton a, quote, monster. That advisor is Samantha Power, and I believe we have video of her. She immediately tried to take the statement back. She thought she was off the record, apparently, but it was too late. Today, she resigned from the Obama camp. Not to be outdone, the Clinton campaign had their own mud to sling, saying that the Obama campaign had stooped to Ken Starr tactics in their quest to see Clinton's tax records. You'll remember the independent prosecutor Ken Starr was Clinton's chief nemesis in the 1990s. He led a number of investigations of the Clintons while they were in the White House. And with me now is a senior fellow at the Independent Women's Voice, Ann Trentalone, and she's representing the right, and the Democratic strategist and former Clinton-Gore campaign staffer, Jeff Hewitt. Good to see you both.
Hello.
Jeff, it sounds like there may be some fatigue setting in.
I think that this is a bit of hyperbole, to be honest with you. Both sides engaging in a little bit of over-the-top rhetoric in these dog days of the campaign. As it's dragged on, the press has lost sight of the issues and are now starting to focus on process, and I think that's where we're seeing these types of stories. To the voters, this is much ado about
Okay, now wait
nothing.
a minute. The senior policy advisor for Barack Obama calls Hillary Clinton a monster, and we're not supposed to talk about it?
Well, it's worth talking about,
okay,
Shep, but the truth is it's much ado about nothing, and most of the voters are not tuned into this type of petty back and forth, and it's a little bit much ado about nothing.
And I'm guessing the Republicans are loving it.
Well, basically, I would say that the voters are tuned into this. This is better than Days of Our Lives as far as people looking at and following the campaign.
All right, let's talk specifically about how smart it was for the Clintons to bring up Ken Starr here.
I think basically...
Well, obviously, when you bring up Ken Starr, you're invoking the specter of the ghost of Ken Starr and the Republican evils of the 1990s. So when the Clintons say that, it's a very effective technique to sort of deflect any more dialogue on that issue as far as land deals and taxes and the like.
But doesn't that sort of open the door for the Obama camp to just start going after every issue that came up in the 90s? You could just have a cavalcade of them that'll last you all the way to November if you wanted.
That's going to happen anyway.
I think that'd just hurt
that is going to happen anyway.
Well, but I mean, but Ann, isn't this just that sort of that door wide open, like, come on in?
I was like, welcome to running for president. That's what's going to happen from here on out. If you're not going to get it now in the primaries, you're going to get it in the general election.
Well,
Jeff, I was just going to say,
disagree.
go ahead.
We've already been through these issues all through the 90s. Obviously, when the voters re-elected Bill Clinton, they said that we're tired of this kind of politics, and if the Republicans and/or Barack Obama engage in this sort of back-to-the-future Clinton bashing, they're going up the wrong creek with this deal, and that's not going to be a successful tactic. They can talk about it all they want, but the voters have spoken on this issue many times in the past, and it's not a winner politically.
We shall see. Jeff and Ann, thank you both. John McCain and he can now bide his time and money and focus on November. But if the battle to choose the Democratic nominee goes all the way to August, will it help or hurt his campaign? Studio B's back in 2 minutes. Well, in sports, when you make the playoffs, you want your team to get some time and rest in between the series. But if you have too much time, you can lose your edge, you know. Senator John McCain's already pretty much guaranteed the GOP nomination more than 6 months before the Republican National Convention. So will all this time on his hands work for him or against him? Especially if we have to wait until August to learn the Democratic nominee. Back with us, Ann is with us from the right, and Jeff's back with us from the left. Ann, what do you think? I mean, there are a couple of ways to think about this, and I guess it really could go either way.
I think it's actually kind of an embarrassment of riches on the McCain side. Look at the time you have to do research, get your people in place. You don't have to spend as much money as possibly the Democrats are on the other side in continuing a hard-fought battle. So I think it's strategically really a great thing to have on your side.
Well, strategically speaking, what'd you think about what happened with the New York Times reporter? Listen to this.
Everybody knows I had a violent conversation.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that I had a conversation. There's no living American in Washington that knows that. There's no one. And you know it too.
What was it?
So,
I was
no, you
reading
know it.
back.
You know it. So I don't even know why you asked.
Well, I asked 'cause I
No,
just
you
read-
do know it. You do know it.
No, I just read in the Times in May of
I don't know
04,
what you read or heard of, and I don't know the circumstances. Maybe in May of '04 I hadn't had a conversation.
Can you
I don't know,
recall
but
the
it's well known that I had the conversation. It's absolutely well known by everyone. So do you have a question on another issue?
Well, can I ask you when the conversation
No,
was?
no, because the issue is closed as far as I'm concerned. Everybody knows it. Everybody knows it in America.
Can you describe the conversation?
Pardon me?
Can you describe the
No,
conversation?
of course not. I don't prescribe private conversations.
Okay, can I ask you?
Why should I? Then there's no such thing as a private conversation.
Jeff?
Well, I got to tell you, Shep, I think Ann's completely missing the mark. You know, voters are tired of this sort of he said, she said, we have time to do research. I mean, what are you going to research on Hillary Clinton that already the voters don't know about? I mean, this is where the Republicans are totally missing the boat. This election for president this time is about vision and hope and moving forward with America, whether that's Hillary or Barack, and it's not about time to go do some research. McCain is at a huge disadvantage at this point because the dialogue until August is going to be about Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama and where they call each other petty names in between. The bottom line is that the voters are hearing the Democratic message, and when they go to the general election, that's what they're going to respond to.
You know, people have talked for a long time about John McCain and this temper thing. Does that seem like a temper thing to you there? I mean,
a little bit, you know. So the guy is a U.S. senator, and he might be a president, and he has a little bit of a temper. That doesn't really bother me.
And you know, that didn't seem much like temper to me. Maybe I just, as someone living in New York, maybe I just have a different thought about what temper is. But that didn't seem like so much temper to me.
I think it was a bit of, he was perturbed, I would say. I mean, you're out there talking to people all the time. You're on a very tough schedule. Every once in a while, you're going to have, especially the press, put you up against a wall. And sometimes they keep pushing. It's like having a kid sometimes who wants to do something.
Yeah,
well, Ann makes a good point. Ann makes a good point. If this man's going to hold the Oval Office, he's going to be, quote, pushed against the wall sometime. And that's a key thing that we are going to look for with independent voters in November. When this man is pushed to the wall, does he respond as a president, or does he respond in a perturbed way and let his temper get the best of him? I think that's an important issue to discuss.
If that's your temper getting the best of you, I'm in deep trouble. Jeff and Ann, thanks a lot. Ron Paul's long shot run for the White House could finally be coming to an end. The Texas Republican congressman posting a video online hinting that he may be ready to drop out.